Yeah, we are live. Good evening, all. Welcome to another Monday Conversations show. So, welcome all of you. Today, we are going to talk about a very highly speculative topic. We do not know what's going to happen. So, the topic is NIFT 2021 situation test possibilities. So, we all know the exam has been indefinitely postponed. So, in this scenario, what the NIFT aspirants should be doing. So we have Sean here.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
All right, so we will throw in some ideas probably. First of all, talking about what has happened last year during the pandemic for the situation test of NIFT, and also what happened to the NID situation test, because we can take some parallels in terms of what could be expected. And the very fact that they have not cancelled and they may be in plans of organizing it in a different way. If it is not a physical one, then probably an online one, or maybe they are waiting for the COVID cases to come down and then they may do the physical one. All right. So at this juncture, I would like to ask Sean, would you like to share your thoughts and opinions?
Yes. So basically, in my opinion, I think there are three ways this could go. Let me just possibly share my screen. Hold on. The number one is it could be like a regular situation test, like how they have every year. One minute. Let me just share my screen. Can you give me a screen sharing image?
Sean, try now.
Yeah. So if you can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Sean, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, great. So it could be a regular situation test. It's just that the date has changed. So this will be like nothing different, like what they have been having every year, what you have been trained for every year, what you've been trained for this year, where you go physically and attend the test. It's just that the date will get postponed. What they did last year. Now, these are three possible scenarios. Any of them could happen. And we're not saying that any of these will happen, but we're just saying any of these could happen. So you could expect any of the three. So it's just that the date is postponed and they may have the test after some time. Number two is what they did last year is they canceled the situation test. So there was no test held, and it was just purely based on your the marks that you got in round one. So basically, whatever marks you got in round one, ranks were given, and the students got their admission. Or the third possible scenario is it could be an online test. Now, online test, how it works is now, just to give you an understanding, NID did an online test last year. So what they did was they will give you, so the test will start. There are two ways this can go. They could have they could give you some question on the spot where you would have to use materials at home, right? Or possibly they will tell you some materials to keep ready, which you can do, or they can give you a project to be done the previous day or maybe 1 or 2 days earlier, and then give you a date where you would have to come and discuss your work. So they will give you a deadline to upload your work, and then they would discuss your work. So these are the three possible scenarios. Now they have never, sometimes you can also kind of expect an unexpected. They have never really asked for a portfolio ever before. being an online test, sometimes when they're discussing the work, they could ask to see some of your work, personal work also. So if you can keep that handy, any personal sketches, anything that you've done in the past, you don't have to sit and make some portfolio. Anything that you've done, if you've done, just keep it on the side in case they ask you while they're discussing your work. If it is in case 3, like the online test, then it might be useful. So this is the 3 possible scenarios. Umesh, would you like to add to any of this? If not, I would just like to open it for questions. Is there any of you all who have any questions out there? So we could answer some questions. But like I said, this is speculative. It could be any of these 3 scenarios, but it will be of these 3 scenarios. So yes, if they cancel the situation test, this would be great. But I would say don't bet on that. Keep practicing, because in case they don't, students who have been practicing will have an edge. So I would say assume that the test is going to happen, but whether it's going to be a physical format or an online format, we'll have to wait and see. But prepare, keep practicing, and assume that there will be a test. Any questions? Dear Ramesh?
All right. So I have a question. In this uncertainty, what way the NIFT students can prepare themselves? I mean, should they put in any effort in the situation test preparation, or should they just focus on their boards, or should they work on their portfolio? Because the last minute, if they call for showcasing a portfolio, so how does what the aspirant should be doing?
Okay, so we have a question from Srinidhi Rajesh. So she's asking, how would they go on the admission process if they cancel the situation test? So Srinidhi, if they cancel it, basically they will give you the rank based on your round 1 performance. Meaning everybody gets a rank, but it's purely based on the marks that you have got in your NIFT round 1. Does that answer your question? Any other questions? Okay, Dion. Umesh?
Yeah, yes, Sean. Tell me.
If there are no more questions, I think.
Yeah, I think these are pretty short and neat video webinar. I think, yeah, we have pretty much covered what could be the scenarios. All right. So if there are no further questions, then probably we can end this session.
What I would have to say is, if they do give you an online test, like I said, there are 2 possibilities. One is they can give you a very specific time and the question is given in that time, or they can give you either a day earlier or 2 days earlier or 3 days earlier. So if they give you a day earlier, then you have good quality time to do a nice bit of work and you can do something really nice. So it's a good opportunity. If it's an online test and they give you more time, you can really perform well. Yes, okay, thank you. And that's about it. I guess you all can wait, look out for our Mandal. What are the possible topics? Okay, so Asmita is asking, what are the possible topics? Just give me a minute. So the best way to answer that question is to go through past year's question papers. So I do not know if you have if you'll have access to edge.dqlabs.in. So we have a lot of past year's question, all the past year's question papers out here, 2019, 2018, 2017, 16. So you have a lot of past year's questions. Just Asmita Mandal, just to answer your question. So 2019, the topics given were make a headgear, a wearable headgear, a kids play area, a trophy, a diary, equipment bag, and a toy for 8 to 10-year-old kids. So you can see the topics on the screen. Of course, each of them had subtopics. Like say, for example, if you clicked into headgear, design a headgear inspired by a mythological character, by sea animals, or by aliens. So each of them had subtopics amongst them. But if you can, I'll quickly scroll down. So 2019 topics, these are the 2018 topics: a modern display unit, a workspace, a lady's handbag, a transportable water container, a scene. Let's see. Okay, design a scene for a Ramayana, or a folk tale. Design a scene for a fairy tale, or design a scene for a Panchatantra story. So these are the topics given in 2018. Even workspace, the choice: redesign workspace for a potter, redesign workspace for a florist, and redesign workspace for an ironing man or a woman. So this was one of the options given. Another option of workspace was workspace for a dancer, workspace for a doctor, and workspace for a vegetable vendor. So these are the options given. So those of you, all these are put up here on edge.dqlabs.in. So y'all can log in there and get all the past year's papers, as well as if you submit your work, you will be able to see all the other students' submissions out here. So it's very helpful and very useful for you. So Asmita, I hope that gave you some insight on the possible topics. Anshuman, Anusha, well, tentative dates are not yet out. We are going to wait for the dates. We have to see how it is. It's anybody's guess when could the next tentative dates be. Okay, so yes, you have to do only one model. Asmita Mandal, only one model. That is correct. And of course, you have to have your write-up. Don't forget. Okay, so it's a model followed by a write-up. That's what it's all about. Okay. So even your write-up has to be really good and really nice. Okay, great. So thank you for joining. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch with us, and we will. You can always get in touch with us for more information if we have not answered your question. Okay, Umesh, I think we can close the webinar for today.
All right, Sean, thank you so much. And I think we'll end the session now. And yeah, so let us wait for further notification from NIFT.